How much is it now?
The last lot was negotiated at $93.7 million per copy. If you use the same metric for the 35, depending on which variant, it's approximately 117 to 107, so depending on the variant. Yes, ma'am. So we actually work it in multiple angles. Part of it's for the program office to drive cost out of the actual process, as well as with the vendor at Sikorsky and Lockheed Martin. But there are other things that are helping us. One is Congress generosity for the addition of 2 additional airframes in the last 2 lots per lot. So that was 4 additional airframes. Helps drive down the cost through quantity buy. Recently on the international side, the Israelis committed to purchase 12 aircraft with an option for 6 more. It looks very good that they will go down that road. There are additional opportunities starting to show up for the 53K. The last lot was negotiated at $93.7 million per copy.
Is what's happening now with munitions that are going out the door, both Javelin and Stinger, as we've heard. And listen, we understand what needs to be done with the industrial base to resupply those sorts of things.
As well as with the vendor at Sikorsky. The last lot was negotiated at $93.7 million per copy.
It occurs between now and the time that we resupply. And what can Congress do? Industrial base to resupply those sorts of things.
I'm not super familiar with how the industrial base is postured and what capability the industrial base is postured and what capability.
The last lot was negotiated at $93.7 million per copy.
Simply say there are ways to mitigate risk. A big part of that, sir, is the continued deterrence.
And what can Congress do?
The threshold of violence may be reached every now and then as we compete. The threshold of violence may be reached every now and then as we compete. But the levels of our stores are a concern, right? So for a Marine, that means being forward. Being forward, being present, being forward.
The last lot was negotiated at $93.7 million per copy.
Just have to fire them on a periodic basis to maintain their the threshold of violence may be breached every now and then as we
the last lot was negotiated at
so for a Marine that means being forward, being forward, being present, being forward. The threshold of violence may be breached every now and then as we compete. Sir, I don't know if you have any comments about industrial base. Sir, I don't know if you have any comments about industrial base. And sir, as you know, we track very carefully and closely the training status of our units, being present, because those same weapons have to be used. Our Marines have to fire them on a periodic basis to maintain their being forward, being present, being forward.
As you know, the ability to resupply right now has atrophied, and that's a risk in and of itself.
How much is it now? How much is it now? How much is it
Just
now?
have to fire them on a periodic basis to maintain their readiness and efficiency
per copy. If you use
those same weapons
for the 35,
the threshold of violence may be reached every now and then.
Approximately 107
So I don't know if you have any comments.
So depending recently on the international side, the Israeli. So we actually
The threshold of violence may be reached every now and then as we
drive cost out of the
How much is it now?
as well as with the vendor at Sikorsky and Lockheed Martin. But there are other things
being forward, being present, being forward.
Congress generosity for the
have to fire them on a
airframes
on a periodic basis to maintain their
readiness and airframes helps drive as well as with the vendor at Sikorsky and Lockheed Martin. Recently on the international side, the Israelis Congress committed to purchase 12 aircraft with an option for 6 more. It looks very good that they will go down that road.
Just have to fire them on
there are additional
a periodic basis to maintain their readiness and proficiency.
The last lot was quantity buy.
Just have to fire them on a periodic basis to maintain their
How much is it now?
being forward, being present, being forward. Just have to fire them on a periodic basis to maintain their the threshold of violence may be breached every now and then as we compete. The threshold of violence may be breached every now and then as we compete. The threshold of violence may be breached every now and then as we compete and we determine the level of our stores are a concern.
How much is it now?
The last
Just have to fire them on a periodic basis to maintain their readiness and efficiency.
Use the same metric for the 35, depending on
The threshold of violence may be breached every now and then as we compete.
107 to 107. So depending on their
Being forward.
So we actually work it in multiple angles.
The threshold of violence may be breached every now and then as we
out of the acme process, as well as the vendor at Singlaub and Lockheed Martin. But there are other things that are helping us.
being forward, being present, being forward.
Generosity for
How much is it
the
now?
addition of 2 additional airframes and the last 2 lots per
Just have to fire them on a periodic basis to maintain
drive down the cost
readiness and
compliance
proficiency.
by recently on the international side,
And what
the
can
Israelis
Congress
committed to purchase 12 aircraft with an option being 6 more. It looks very good that they will go down that road. There are
Just have to fire them on
posture
a periodic basis to maintain their readiness and proficiency.
lot was negotiated at $93.7 million.
Just have to fire them on a periodic basis, to maintain their
is what's happening now with
Just have to fire them on
missions that are going out
a
the
periodic
door,
basis to
javelin,
maintain their
stinger, as we've heard.
The threshold of
We
violence may
understand
be
what
breached every now and
needs
then.
to
The
be
threshold of
done
violence may be breached every now and then.
industrial base to resupply those sorts of things.
The threshold of violence may be breached every now and then as we
The last lot was negotiated at $93.7 million per copy.
The threshold of violence may be breached every now and then as we
resupply.
The threshold of violence may be breached every now and then as we
What can Congress do? What can Congress do?
Or at Sikorsky and Lockheed Martin.
Literally how the industrial base is postured and what capability industrial base is postured and what capability.
The last lot was
How much is
negotiated
it
at
now?
$93.7 million per copy.
Simply say there are ways being to mitigate risk. A big part of that, sir, is the continued deterrence that is because those same weapon systems have to be used. The threshold of violence may be breached every now and then as we the threshold of violence may be breached every now and then as we compete. But the levels of our stores are a concern. Being forward, being present, being forward. Being present, being forward, being present.
Getting a little insane.
The threshold of violence. The threshold of violence. Being forward. The threshold of violence.
The last lot was negotiated at $93.7
Getting a little
million
insane. think all our society is run by insane people for insane objectives. You know, and I think that's what I sussed when I was 16, 12, way down the line. But I expressed it differently all through my life. It's the same thing I'm expressing all the time, but now I can put it into that sentence. I think we're being run by maniacs for maniacal ends. You know. If anybody can put on paper what our government and the American government, etc., and the Russian, Chinese, what they are actually trying to do, you know, and what they think they're doing, I'd be very pleased to know what they think they're doing. I think they're all insane. You know, but I'm liable to be put away as insane for expressing that. You know, that's what's insane about it.
Being forward.
That access to food is a universal human right.
I think they're all insane.
Having those waivers on nutritional standards.
Being forward.
I think they're all insane.
That access to food is a universal human right.
Having those waivers on nutritional standards.
Being forward.
I think they're all insane.
Being forward.
How much is it now?
Moving school districts from where they have been for now 2 years of having those waivers on nutritional standards to going back to serving healthy meals is a really critical and important challenge. And the action that the USDA took last Friday was a first important step in trying to move school districts back towards meeting some level of nutritional standards of healthy meals for all or universal meals. Of healthy meals for all or universal meals. How to think about this in a fiscally responsible way. I think that really the question is, how can we afford not to invest in making sure that our young people have access to healthy food, are given a chance to learn, are given a chance to grow healthy. But thinking longer term about the future of our country, the future of our in making investments now that will benefit us, and investing in our children is certainly really important. And those investments might not pay back in the next quarter or the next 3 years, but we are going to rely on these young people to guide us into the future. The challenge is for our political leaders to think more holistically about all of the costs associated with not making this investment. I think there are both some short-term and immediate reasons why this should be done, and some very, very compelling long-term benefits for doing this. Some very, very compelling long-term benefits for doing this.
For Congress not to make the decision to invest in the well-being and health of nutritional health and well-being of children is a grievous error or a mistake. So, when we think about every dollar we invest in the WIC program returns savings in healthcare up to $2.48. It just makes good investment sense. Right now, as we look at stock markets tumbling, I think all of us would like to get that kind of return on our investment. So choose children and quality nutrition for children and their families first. Really codifying these through child nutrition reauthorization is really critical to assure that these are permanent changes and not just in the moment changes because of some particular legislative crisis or healthcare crisis that we might have. Is really critical to assure that these are permanent changes and not just in the moment changes because of some particular legislative crisis or healthcare crisis that we might have.
When we talk about a bright future for our country, there is nothing more essential that ensuring we give our children every opportunity to grow and develop into healthy, productive members of society. All children, regardless of household income, has access to nutritious foods to allow them to learn and grow by providing a school breakfast, a school lunch, after-school meals, and summer meals to all students at no cost. I believe, we believe, that access to food is a universal human right. Universal school meals is the best investment we can make now for the future health, national security, equity, and prosperity of our country. Give us the power to make 360-degree investments in communities across the country. Buying from local farms, creating jobs with dignity, not only feeding our children better quality food, but empowering them with nutrition education. We must expand access to out-of-school nutrition programs. Over the past several years, also World Central Kitchen has worked to fight child nutrition insecurity in hundreds of cities across nearly all 50 states. We've seen that some of the most complex problems, they have very simple solutions. We have enough nutritious food to feed every child in America, in our schools and in our communities. We have the technology and the systems of distributions to make sure not one child is forgotten. And we know which policies and flexibilities that are needed to get it done. What we need is the political will to commit to ending child hunger once and for all. And I hope those of you listening to this briefing today will join us in that commitment and hold our elected officials accountable to that same promise. If we want to truly address the problem of child nutrition, we must be out there in our communities with boots on the ground. And at the same time, finding opportunities to building longer tables, my friends. I believe, we believe, that access to food is a universal human right. Building longer tables, my friends. We believe that access to food is a universal human right. We believe that access to food is a universal human right. Building longer tables, my friends. We believe that access to food is a universal human right. We believe that access to food is a universal human right. Building longer tables, my friends. We believe that access to food is a universal human right. Building longer tables, my friends. We believe that access to food is a universal human right. Building longer tables, my friends. We believe that access to food is a universal human right.